Let's continue the conversation tonight with what can best be described as the trials and tribulations of Abdullahi Ganduje. The former Kano State Governor and national chairman of the ruling All Progressives Congress may not have the time to focus on steering the ship of the party for now, as he has his hands full with two court cases emanating from the courts in his home state of Kano. The first is the Kano State government arraigning him alongside his wife, his son, and 5 others on an 8-count charge bordering on alleged $413,000 bribery and an alleged diversion of funds to the tune of 1.38 billion naira. Today, that trial was adjourned due to the failure of the Kano State government to serve the accused, including the man on your screen, Abdullahi Ganduje. Now, remember the suspension of Ganduje from the APC by executives of his ward, the aptly named Ganduje ward in Dawaki in Tofa local government area. Do you also remember that the state working committee of the party declared that suspension a nullity? Well, today, Kano State High Court has granted an order ex parte, given an interim injunction directing all parties involved in the matter, including the APC, its National Working Committee, the Kano State Working Committee of the party, and Ganduje himself, to maintain the status quo ante as of April 15, 2024, pending the determination of the matter on April 30. As we speak, Abdullahi Ganduje, it could be said, is not the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress in the eyes of the law. But our guest will tell us more. Here's Qudus Alalafia. He is the head of chambers, Chinedu, G, Udora, and Co. He joins us via video link from Wuye in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital territory. Qudus, it's good to have you on the program tonight.
It's my pleasure. Good evening, Nigerians.
Now, do you agree that today's interim injunction effectively means that Abdullahi Ganduje ceases to be the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress?
Yes, the answer is a straightforward one. It's a yes. Law is not anything that is officially done, but whatever must be officially done must be done in accordance with the law. Now, the law is the court. The court has said it stands suspended. Whether the judgment is wrong or not wrong, until it is vacated, the order of the court subsists, and it takes effect from the date and time the ruling was made. Thank you very much.
What do you make of the decision of the court to grant that interim application ex parte?
Okay, there is something I would need Nigerians to understand. When a party takes an application to court, there are judicial parameters upon which a court will look at an application and take a decision as to whether or not to grant it. What I'm saying in essence is that if on the basis, on the surface of the application, such an application is grantable, obviously the court will grant it. If on the surface of the application, it is not something the court can grant, the court will reject it. Now, this is without prejudice to the right of the other party to be heard. Now, taking into consideration that the ruling of the court was predicated upon an application via ex parte. Ex parte means just only one person. It is only one person that has gone to court to file a process before the court to say, pending the determination of the suit which the court will hear between me and the other party, suspend this person. So, but I believe that going by the application presented to the court has looked at it holistically, and on the surface of it, the court, in his opinion, formed that opinion that it is something that he could grant, and so it was granted. So whether it was granted in the right manner or in the wrong manner, until that order is vacated, the position of law is that that order stands. Thank you.
So once again, going back to the decision by the court to grant this order ex parte, to grant the application ex parte, rather, does it not follow that the party making the order must prove to the honorable judge or justices, as the case may be, that the non-granting of that order ex parte may affect the party, applying party, might be injurious to them, might bring some harm to them. Therefore, they have to prove that that they might suffer some loss, some harm, and because of the element of time, the court does not need to, wait for the other party to be served to come defend themselves before granting the order. If that is the case, what about this particular suspension? What can the parties, the experts from Ganduje's word, say to convince the court that there's some grievous damage or injury that will befall them if the order is not granted ex parte?
All right. Thank you very much. I think one thing our people need to know, Nigerians need to know, that this kind of order which the court has granted is interim in nature. When we say interim, that means it can only subsist for certain period. It is not for life. Upon the final determination of the suit before the court, if the court forms the opinion that the claimant or the applicant that's the person who has brought the case before it has no case to answer, the court will dismiss that case, and not only that, will also vacate his own order suspending Abdullahi Ganduje. That's number one. Number two is that, like I said earlier, before a judge could make a discretion with respect to an application, that application must have met up with the judicial parameter upon which, must have met up with the judicial parameter upon which a court could grant such an application. Now, it has been granted, but it will not, the nature of that ruling is not something that will last long. And that is the fair hearing part for APC to come in, to come and explain reasons based on whatever reason they may think is fair to them. They present their house, they are to present their case before the court, and the court will look at it holistically alongside the case of the applicant that has come before it. Now, that decision is for the court to make. By the time the court looks at it holistically, one person must be victorious. It is either the applicant at the end of the day wins, or the APC chairman wins. But in all of this, APC is a party that has structure. That is why we have the national office of the national chairman and offices of the deputy national chairman. Now, it is believed that in this kind of situation, I do not see any injustice which the court has mailed out to APC in this regard, because number one, the ruling is just for a time, it's just for a period of time, which is pending the determination of that suit. That's number one. Number two is also that APC has a structure. So if the chairman is suspended, there must be somebody, the next high-ranking a member of the National Executive Working Committee, or whosoever they deem fit to steer the affairs of APC pending the determination of that suit. Let me conclude by saying that, you see, law is not just for one person. It is for me, it is for you, it is for everybody in the society. Now, the people who have gone to court to apply to court for the suspension of Alhaji Ganduje pending the determination of the suit before the court did it within their rights. From that point, where the court also has granted that order, Alhaji Ganduje too has rights to go back to the court and ask for the vacation of that order.
Okay, okay, but the case has been adjourned to April 30. That is for the substantive matter to be heard. The reason I was asking about ex parte applications being granted is because I think you were nodding your head when I was asking if the applicant, the applying party, must prove, to the judge that failure to grant that interim injunction ex parte without the other party being given a chance to have their say or fair hearing will be injurious to them and they will suffer some harm. And in this case, I'm wondering what is the harm that the ex-cos in Ganduje ward who approach the court will suffer if the APC and Ganduje are not given a chance to defend themselves. I want to draw your attention to what the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Milord Honorable Justice Abdul Karafati, said at the commencement of the 2018-2019 legal year. This is the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. He announced that he had issued a directive to judges of the Federal High Court barring them from granting ex parte orders in political cases. And you remember the case of the 6 conflicting ex parte orders when Tanko was CJN, and the conversation about granting ex parte orders in political cases. So what are your thoughts on this particular interim injunction in the light of that conversation?
Yeah, thank you very much. Let me take it from the instruction or kind of admonition issued by the Honorable Chief Judge of the Federal High Court. Now, that admonition is directed to judges under him. It only binds judges at the Federal High Court. But of course, it can also be an admonition to other judges of the State High Court. But let me just refer, particularly, I think, was it the current Chief Justice of Nigeria, either the current Chief Justice or the former one, specifically also cautioned all judicial officers, that's judges in Nigeria. Well, I think it was last year or thereabouts, with respect to granting of orders ex parte. Now, I need you to understand that the position of the Chief Judge and that of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, they made those statements administratively in their capacity as head of courts. Now, where an order has been granted ex parte in this manner, as a legal practitioner, I am to interpret it within the available confine of the law. The law has stated that whether an order is right or it is wrong, it stands. And I've stated that looking at it holistically, yes, it was granted ex parte. The law itself provides for ex parte application. I would have suggested that the admonition of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court and that of the CJN that I made mention would have been incorporated perhaps in the practice direction of the courts so that it will bind the courts itself, or they incorporate it in the rules of courts. So if they have made those statements, but it has not been incorporated, our judicial officers, while they are sitting on their seat as the judge of a competent court, the law allows them to grant some reliefs, prayers, ex parte, so far they exercise their discretionary, judicially and judiciously. So we cannot tie a rope around the judge to say he has done the right thing or he has done the wrong thing. He has done it within his judicial powers. So what I will advise is that the other party still has a right. Has a right. What is the right? they have the right to go back to that same court and bring an application for the court to vacate its earlier order. They have, when they look at it, of course, their lawyers know what to do. They will bring available facts before the court. If the court looks at it at that level, the court can vacate. But along the line, jurisprudentially, if I'm going to put it that way, or philosophically, I would have said that perhaps because of the nature, this is not an election period, and this is not an election matter. So it takes it away within the purview of election. But be that as it may, it borders on politics and politicking.
All right.
Perhaps I would have said that if I were the judge, that is, Alalafia as a judge, I would have asked the party bringing that application expertly to turn it into a motion on notice so that you serve the other party and let the other party come and defend the application. That is my personal opinion if I were the judge.
All right.
But like I said, the judge still has that power to do what he has done. And like I said, if you bring an application before the court, even without the other party defending it, that application must be something that the court can grant. So if in the opinion of the court,
okay,
in this case, the opinion of the court is that it is something that can be granted.
Qudus Alalafia.
The law is clear.
Qudus, we have to go. We have to go. So many aspects to this. It's been quite an interesting session with you. There are a lot of aspects to this, and we'll keep our eyes on this particular story. But many thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And that's the size of our package right here on Politics HQ. We wait for the response of the lawyers of the All Progressives Congress. Mind you, the national legal advisor of the party says the order is not enforceable. He says it was obtained by fraud. We'll watch to see how it plays out. My name is Kofi Bartels. We return tomorrow with more on the hottest conversations and trends in Nigerian politics tonight.